Welcome back. You're watching our big adventure bike shootout here on Overdrive. Now, adventure motorcycles are known to kick up a lot of fun while tackling off-road terrain. So here's what our riders think about all of these 5 adventure motorcycles.
So Nikhil, let's begin with you and the Tiger 1200. You've been having a lot of fun with all the motorcycles, of course, but also jumping a lot with the newest kid on the block, that's the 1200. So what has been your pick for the off-road bit?
Let me start off with the bottom order. That would be the Harley. It is definitely torquey. It's got the torque to keep chugging along. But the main problem with that, I feel, is the front end. The front end is very heavy. So anytime I want to do some technical stuff, it just slides or it just gets stuck. So with that regard, I would say it's somewhere close to an adventure motorcycle, but not really a really good one. But it can get you places where other Harleys can't get you. Next would definitely be the Ducati. Now the Ducati is very powerful, very nimble as well, especially on tarmac. The same thing goes when we take it off-road as well, but only to a certain extent. Same thing there as well. If I want to do slow technical stuff in that, the front definitely feels a little bit more heavier, but it definitely has very good capabilities to, of course, changing up a few bits and pieces here and there, making it suit to the rider the way he rides. I'm sure it is as capable as the Tiger or the Africa Twin. In my ranking, the BMW is in the middle. It's the 3rd ranking. The only reason why I would say that, it is, for me at least, it is very less dramatic to ride on. But it is the most easiest machine to ride on off-road. It's very balanced. The power delivery is very linear. It's very manageable. It goes where you want to. The most common phrase that everybody talks about or says when you ride a motorcycle is, look where you want to go, and this thing will go where you are looking at. So in those terms, for anybody who's picking up an adventure motorcycle and that's their first motorcycle, or that's their first big motorcycle, then the BMW is definitely something that they need to look out for, because it's very easy to ride. Next comes a close second, the Tiger, for sure. It's powerful. It's got all the knickknacks that it needs to send you to the moon if you're brave enough. And it definitely has that maneuverability even at slow speeds. The one thing that I didn't like about the Tiger in slow speeds is, if you don't keep the revs at a little higher, it tends to bog. Not bog, but stall. It happened to me. I'm sure it could happen to anybody as well. The things that I did on the Tiger, I wouldn't attempt on the Harley any given day for any X amount of money, because I value my life more than money. And the top one is definitely the Africa Twin. The way it handles is very much like a dirt bike, because I've been riding dirt bikes and I can say that yes, it definitely handles a lot like a dirt bike. The only thing that I didn't like about the Africa Twin is the electronic setup. Like, it's very complex. In order for me to switch off the rear ABS, apparently there's a whole bunch of pages that I need to go through to switch it off. So I actually didn't do that, but I'm sure if I did do that, I would be able to do a lot more things with that motorcycle than what I did today. So that's definitely taking the top step of the ladder in terms of the off-road part.
Now, if you had to pick out that one all-rounder, right, that you would buy as the one adventure machine that you would have in your garage, that would be able to do everything for you, what would it be?
I would definitely go with the Tiger for sure. When it comes to the electronics, it's very basic. I can set it up the way I want very quickly. I can cruise on the highways, try and keep up with the faster bunch of the people here and the motorcycles here as well. And when it comes to off-road as well, it gives me the confidence to push. In spite of the higher ground clearance and my shorter stature, I'm still able to maneuver it. So I would definitely say the Tiger is my pick.
What about you, Vignesh?
So for me as well, it is the Tiger. I found it very comfortable on the straights, and on the ghat section as well, it was fairly good as compared to GS. I found it sharper, but then considering the post-purchase the experience, the service, the trust with the brand, I would like to go with the Tiger.
Okay. What about you, Chris?
Well, if I had the money, I'd definitely go in for the GS, because it's the most easiest it's the most comfortable bike I've ridden to date. But considering that I don't, I'd definitely have to go with the Africa Twin because, yes, well, I do like to keep it simple. Although the electronics bit is a bit complex, as you mentioned before, that's a bit of a downer. But capability-wise, all round on the highway, off-road, man, that thing is just amazing. It never ceases to amaze me. You never get bored of that machine, and that's why I think I'd pick that one out of the book.
What about you, Arib?
For me, it's the Multistrada V4 for specific reasons. Great low end, which Ducatis previously did not have. At least the L Twin did not have. It's great in the city, it's great on the highway, and it's great in the hills. And I don't go camping, I stay in hotels. So if I have to go touring long distance, the Multistrada V4 is the perfect pick for me. It does everything right and suits my riding style perfectly well. It's got that right amount of manicness. It's got the right amount of hooliganism. It adapts very well to that kind of behavior, despite inherently being a sophisticated and polite Ducati.
Right. So I think the takeaway from this entire story and what we've done, is that every motorcycle will fit every rider differently, depending on what you want from the motorcycle. What are you exactly looking for in your adventure tourer? Highway, off-road, a bit of both, a bit of everything, a bit of nothing. You just probably want an adventure motorcycle because it's the in thing right now. So no matter what your point of view is towards buying a motorcycle, every motorcycle here will fit every rider differently. My pick out of all of this, since I've been silent on this topic, would still remain the GS. I already own one, and that's for a reason. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This, I think, is the all-rounder for me. But whatever we've seen with the Tiger 1200, I mean, it's impressive. Knowing what the Tiger 1200 was before, and now looking at the new one, they have definitely come very close to the GS in terms of the smoothness, in terms of the sharpness, in terms of everything that they wanted to deliver. And then being a Triumph, they've also taken it a whole notch ahead with the kind of engine performance that they have to offer. And now with that ground clearance, that kind of suspension travel, it's just become, I think, the best all-rounder there is right now. That's my opinion again. The Harley-Davidson, I think we've all sort of agreed that instead of calling it an adventure motorcycle or an adventure tourer, I think the term that we'd like to coin here for it is adventure cruiser. So like everyone said, if you've ridden Harley-Davidsons, this is now the best Harley-Davidson out there, especially from an Indian point of view. If you want to come to terrain like this, if you want to go road tripping in India, this is the best Harley-Davidson to do it with. But what's bigger is that the promise that this motorcycle brings along. This shows that Harley-Davidson is headed in the right direction. This keeps up with all the other motorcycles in everything that they're doing. It's not excelling at any of that, but it's keeping up with everything. And that's a very good promise to begin on, because now Harley-Davidson can try to be a part of this gang instead of being a bit of a misfit. But like I said, I think that is the best all-rounder so far in the package. It is the newest motorcycle. They have had the time to sort of benchmark themselves against everything. And I think Triumph have delivered. But we are not here to pick out a winner. We are here to show you what every motorcycle can do. And now the picking up is something that you have to do. The informed choice is something that you have to make.
Well, we've enjoyed filming and editing this story, and we do hope that you enjoyed watching it just as much. Before we sign out, to celebrate the Festival of Lights, let me remind you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our latest updates on our various social media platforms. Have a great weekend.